Welcome to a deck profile request. Yes, those exist as well. um, yeah, generally I do deck requests, but if there's a deck that was used in video that wasn't a deck request from before, and you want to see the deck profile, you can just be like, "Hey, make a deck profile," and then I'll make it. Matthew Wyatt recently requested me to make a deck profile for my Jinzo deck, so here we go. Also, if we take a look at Jinzo, just I refuse to use this artwork because I don't like it. Generally, whatever set or promo set this thing was from, there's like a Dark Magician Girl and a few others from this as well, Buster Blade or Red Eyes. I generally don't like these artworks at all. So, yeah, I generally am going with this. I certainly am going with this one. 3 Jinzos because it's a Jinzo deck, and it's pretty good as well. 2 Jinzo Lord. It cannot be special summoned except by its own effect. Can't be normal summoner set either. So later on we'll find a Jinzo that can actually special summon other Jinzos. Can't summon Lord, but you can special summon it by sending a face of Jinzo you control to the grave, which will be an inherent special summon or a built-in special summon, a special summon that doesn't start a chain. To get my terms correct. It's slightly better than Jinzo because the original Jinzo just stops trapcards from being activated and then negates all of them. This one has the same, but you can also destroy all face-up trap cards. So let's say there's a Fiendish Chain active that you want to be sure stays. That would, if you're afraid Jinzo Lord would leave the field, and you're afraid that then the Fiendish Chain would affect that once again affect that other monster that you have, you can use Jinzo Lord's effect to destroy all face-up trap cards and inflict a 300 damage for each card destroyed. By this effect, 300 damage to your opponent. That's pretty nice. It's also slightly stronger than Jinzo, so why not? They have 3 copies of Jinzo Jector. The name becomes Jinzo while on the field or in the grave. So it's not just a Jinzo monster, it actually becomes Jinzo. So a card that specifically states summon Jinzo, such as Jinzo Returner, can also summon Jinzo Jector, which can definitely help because you can tribute it to add a Jinzo monster from deck to hand. Returner, Jinzo, Jinzo Lord, whichever you feel is good. You can also then reveal the opponent's set cards and then special summon stuff if they have trap cards face down, which they generally will. And then you can like special summon your Jinzo without tributes and then tribute 1 for Jinzo Lord. That's certainly a chance that you have. Jinzo Returner can attack the opponent directly. I generally don't really use it. However, you have the option to. When it's entered the grave, you can special summon a Jinzo from the graveyard. Something you are able to do, Infernal Reckless Summon. I'll just mention it now. 1500 less attack. If a monster like that is special summoned to your side of the field while the opponent has a face-up monster, you both choose one of your face-up monsters to special summon as many monsters of the same name from your deck and or graveyard to the field. Now, if the opponent has a synchro, they obviously can't do that because synchros are on the extra deck, so they don't get anything. However, generally with Infernal Reckless Summon, the max amount of monsters you're going to summon is 2. Let's say you have Dark Magician. Not Dark Magician. Let's say you summon Celtic Guardian. Through some means you summon Celtic Guardian. A 1400 attack. You summon it. And you play Infernal Reckless Summon, you get 2 more, because you can have max 3 copies in the deck. However, let's say you use Jinzo Returner's effect to special summon Jinzo Jector. Jinzo Jector's name becomes Jinzo while on the field or in the grave. Also on the field. It's not Jinzo Jector anymore, it's now Jinzo. So you can then special summon all 3 of these. Or 2 of these and another Jector that happens to be in the graveyard, because then it's also treated as Jinzo. But you can summon multiple of these, from which then one you contribute for Lord, or you can use 2 of them for an Xyz. That can be pretty fancy. Then there's 3 copies of the Dark Creator. You have to have 5 more Darks in the grave to special summon it. Can't be normal summoner set, but it's a pretty cool effect where once per turn you can banish a Dark from the grave to target another Dark and special summon it. So that way you can bring back your Jinzos. I also have 2 copies of Stegos Cyber, which can stop you from taking battle damage for a little bit. But it's also another level 6 that you can place on the field, so you can do something like Xyz Summon with Jinzo. Dark Gruffer, it can send your Jinzo Lord or your Jinzos to the grave or to special summon it. It can discard a Dark to send a Dark from deck to grave. Chances are you would want Jinzo Jector in the grave to then special summon it via an effect, or you want a Jinzo in the grave to then special summon it with a returner, do note that sending returners to the grave via sending the via the discard as a cost is not going to activate the effect because it's an optional when effect, so it's going to miss activation timing. But if you send it via just the actual effect and not the cost, then that will work. So you could send a Jinzo as to the grave as cost, then send this one to the grave from the deck, activate return as effect, summon that Jinzo. Could work. Armageddon Knight also helps set up the graveyard with some of your monsters. Summoner Monk, I have quite a few spell cards. Summoner Monk lets you special summon level 4, your Gruffer, your Armageddon Knight, or your Ejector. And then with Ejector into Inferno Reckless, that's another way. Phantom of Chaos. Phantom of Chaos, not used in a lot of decks, but if you can get the right cards in your graveyard and then use Phantom of Chaos, it can become really darn good. In Duel 292, where I use Jinzo, I use Phantom of Chaos after a big combo to copy Jinzo Lord's effect. I really love how that final turn worked out. I was able to get a good field in, multiple monsters, multiple summons, and then in the end also get Phantom of Chaos to copy Jinzo Lord's effect, so the opponent could use any trap cards. That was awesome. And then Allure of Darkness is in my deck because my deck is full of dark monsters, so Allure of Darkness gives me that extra bit of draw power. Reinforcements of the army, only one. I don't think I would use all that much more, maybe two, but one feels pretty good because a good amount of my monsters are machines or stuff that machines. Dark Gruffer and Armageddon Knight are warriors, so I can add those. 3 copies of trade in because Dark Raider and Jinzo Lord, sometimes you won't really be able to get them onto the field, especially early games, so you can use those for discard to get 2 more cards. Soul Charge to bring back cards, stop the opponent once again from not using trap cards if Jinzo's left the field before. Soul Charge, and if you do lose that many life points, so the summons and the losing life points are treated as happening simultaneously, so Inferno Reckless summon doesn't miss activation timing. So if you summon a Jinzo Ejector, let's say you have 2 Jinzos in the grave and a Jinzo Ejector and the Dark Gruffer, what you could do is summon all 4 of them, lose 4,000 life points. What you could also do is just summon your Gruffer because you want it, summon your Ejector, lose 2,000 life points, play Inferno Reckless summon to summon the other 2 Jinzo, and then a 3rd one from the deck. It's a possibility. I have 3 copies of Reasoning because of decent variety in levels. So to get a free summon for especially Jinzo especially Jinzo or Dark Raider. No, Dark Raider wouldn't work, but Jinzo wouldn't be too bad. Some of my other cards can make use of that as well. And Graveyard setup is very nice for Phantom of Chaos, for Ejector, for Returner. That can definitely work out. Foolish Barrow also for Graveyard setup. Inferno Reckless Summon already went over that. Limiter removal, good amount of my monsters are machine, like Dark Raider isn't, but the Jinzos are, so generally I'd use it with Jinzo and Jinzo Lord. Boost it up. 1 single trap card, Psychic Shockwave. Activate only when your opponent activates a trap card. Happens pretty often. Discard 1 spell or trap to special summon level 6 Dark Machine type from the deck. And that'll be Jinzo. To activate a trap, I don't stop the trap. However, Psychic Shockwave is meant to be used with Jinzo, so that you special summon Jinzo, which then negates that trap that was activated earlier. Because Jinzo's trap negation effect is continuous. So that works out. In the extra deck, we have Fortune Tune. Don't really go into it a lot, but I have it. Abyss Dweller, because it can definitely stop some of the meta decks. Emerald, Castell, number 101 and 103. Number 39, you generally don't use that a lot, but I have it in there because Utopia the Lightning. I have Dark Rebellion, Accused Dragon. I have Gauntlet Launcher. 2 copies of Beatrice the Eternal Lady. No, I'm not running any Burning Abyss cards. However, once per turn during either player's turn, except the card summoned this way, which won't happen, you can attach an Xyz material from this card and send a card from deck to grave. To summon this, you need to give up 2 Jinzos, 2 Sego Sours, or 1 of each. However, this graveyard setup might just be what you want to use. And 25-28, they're pretty good stats as well. Then Photon Strike Bouncer, because we're running quite a few rank 6s anyway, so Photon Strike Bouncer could use. I also have the option of Swordbreaker, but Photon Strike can be used as well. Then Constellar Ptolemy M7, and then finally number 39 Utopia Beyond to make the all the attackable monsters the opponent controls, 0 can be really good. And if you then still have, let's say, a Jinzo Lord on the field, and this, and then limiter removal, or Utopia the Lightning to boost an attack to 5,000, that can definitely be an OTK. So, yeah, this thing in the deck. A final option, Dark Arm Dragon. Generally used quite a bit in decks that have dark monsters. The reason why Dark Arm Dragon is in the side deck right now, why I'm considering it, not necessarily in the main deck yet, is because it needs exactly 3 darks in the grave, and this deck's pretty quick on the graveyard setup. If you happen to have Dark Arm Dragon early, that's good, but otherwise, like it's not really gonna work. Dark Creator needs 5, so that's you can use it later, but you can have more than 5 and Dark Creator can still be summoned. Dark Armed needs 3. Sure, you can use something like Jinzo Return to summon a Jinzo back, but then that's about it. And Phantom Chaos banishes one. You don't really have a way to get rid of the monsters from the grave, as I do in my Shadol deck, where I can really manipulate that. But yeah, Dark Armed Dragon, it's an option. You can think about it. Alright, that was the deck profile for my Jinzo deck, Matthew. Hope you have a good idea of what I decided to go with, some of the combos of the deck. If you have any suggestions on how to improve the deck, this is to anyone, let me know, and you'll probably see this deck a few more times in the future. Alright, that was the video for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.